Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about a recap of Michigan versus Ohio State is our host with the most, Mr. Vincent Turner. How's it going, man?
Hey man, how you doing on this glorious Monday morning after Thanksgiving? I'm doing fantastic, ready to go, and very excited as the college football season winds down.
Absolutely. These are the times that we love to see when everything starts to shake out, when we see who's going to rise to the top. So tell us, Mr. Vincent Turner, what did we see in this Michigan versus Ohio State game? And also, what did we see a little later in the USC versus Notre Dame game right after that?
I'm gonna tell you, man, when you look at this Michigan Ohio State game, and this is to the Michigan people out there, everyone that knows me from last week, I had put money on Ohio State. Ohio State was a 10-point favorite. And based on the fact it was playing in Columbus, Ohio, before 100,000, everything was looking toward Ohio State in this football game. C.J. Stroud, he threw for 360 yards on Saturday, but everybody was talking about the Heisman moment. And to really see how the Michigan Wolverines went in there and took care of their business, they had 5 explosive plays over 40 yards. A receiver, Cornelius Johnson, had 2 touchdowns that went for 69 and 76 yards. Then they had Donovan Edwards in the fourth quarter, 75 and 85-yard touchdown runs. But the key that really surprised me was J.J. McCartney, their 5-star quarterback. Make no question about it. See, Jeremiah, in big games like this, it's always your quarterback that's got to play at a high level. And he played at a high level, 263 yards, 3 touchdowns. Because remember, throughout the week, everybody was questioning him passing ability based on the fact what he did in the Illinois game the previous week. And make no bones, Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, we can finally say the Wolverines are there. Looking at Ohio State, the most disappointing thing to me, if I'm a Buckeye fan today, is Jim Knowles. Your defense was to be better. You played well throughout the year, but in the big games, last year you gave up 42 points to Ohio State. Now you gave up 45 on your home field. That's the gentleman I'll be looking at this morning. And I'm going to end it with this. You better believe now that everybody in the country is saying that Michigan has got a good football team now. They can throw the football, they can run it, and most of all, their defense played very well, especially in the second half. And when I was doing my research, it was 2 gentlemen from the Metro Atlanta area where we broadcasting today. DJ Turner, the starting corner, you know where he's from? Swanee. And Michael Barrett, the linebacker that had 11 tackles. He's from Valdosta. Kudos to you, Buck Malou. This is a fine Michigan team. And coming out of that game Saturday, I have a lot more respect for the Wolverines. You did what you supposed to do in a big-time football game. You go on the other opponent's field, you're a 10-point favorite. I still kind of shocked that Michigan won the game. But hey, go Big Blue. And when you look at it, you got to think Anthony Carr, Brent Edwards is proud. Jim Manrich is proud. Bo Schembechler is proud. Don Mohead is proud. Ton Darden is proud. Tywan Wheatley is proud. All I can say, kudos to the Michigan Wolverines. Hey, big win on Saturday over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, USC and Notre Dame. Kudos to Lincoln Riley for what he did in the first year going out there coming from Oklahoma. Took a lot of flack for taking the job because they said, hey, he didn't want to go with Oklahoma to the SEC. Who cares? But at the end of the day, he's got USC football back to where it's supposed to be. See, it's the thing about L.A. when you got the USC Trojans. See, they was my team when I was small, Jeremiah, growing up. I remember that great 64-yard run by O.J. Simpson in 1967 against UCLA. I remember all the other great players that came behind him, that 72-73 team. Richard Wood, Lynn Swan, Anthony Davis. You feel me? San Fernando, California. Then Ronnie Lott, Anthony We got a new king on the hill in D.C., and I think he won the Heisman Trophy on last Saturday night against the opponent Notre Dame. He plays quarterback. His name is Caleb Williams. Remember, D.C., Marvin Gaye, Martin Lawrence, Chuck Brown, and the Soul Searchers. Hard to believe it's a young man coming from Washington, D.C. that can play quarterback at his level. Then when you look at what he's done this year, 3,700 yards, 34 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns on the ground. And granted, USC doesn't have a great defense. They've been close in every game simply because their defense hasn't been hold. And think about the pressure how this young man has played. I'm talking about Caleb Williams. Is that when you look at USC, especially on Saturday night against Notre Dame, you got a feeling that the Trojans' defense was really going to stop Notre Dame. So you really felt like that if USC was going to win this football game, they had to score every possession. And that's what they did on Saturday night. And you look at that USC football program, you look at their team right now, it's no question about it. This is one of the most prolific offensive teams I've seen in a long time. When you think about it, they got 5 receivers that average almost 15 yards of reception. Jordan Addison, Taj Washington, Marlon Williams, Brendan Rice, Kyle Ford. All those guys average over 15 yards a catch. Granted, the Trojans lost Travis Dye for this game, but Austin Jones, the transfer from Stanford, had 146 yards. And you know what? USC is riding very high now. The city of Compton. I love the party. That's Washington. Hey, John Singleton. It's a new king in town. He doesn't go by Pat Hayton. He doesn't go by Vince Evans. He transferred from Boomer Sooner, Oklahoma. His name is Caleb Williams. And think about this young man. Last year, he unseated a guy that was a very special football player in Spencer Rattler. Look what Spencer Rattler did the last 2 weeks at South Carolina. 2 big wins over Tennessee and Clemson this weekend. Then Caleb Williams follows his coach Lincoln Riley out there to LA, the city of Compton, Watts, South Central, USC 11-1, getting ready to play Utah. Utah's going to be a tough out in the Pac-12 championship game. I'm picking USC. But after that game on Friday night, all eyes are going to be looking at Las Vegas. USC comes out of that game, then we're going to get a trophy. The 8th Heisman Trophy winner to the University of Southern California. His name is Caleb Williams. And then you think about all those other Heisman Trophy winners. Carson Palmer, Charles White, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Mike Garrett, Marcus Allen. And, of course, the young man from Galileo High School, O.J. Simpson. It's great for the Trojans to be back on top. Yes, sir, Mr. Jeremiah Long.
Man, it's been some exciting football this season. And one thing that I love is that our show, 100 Yards of Football, has been here tried and true every single week, every single day practically, bringing you that coverage. So thank you so much, Vincent, for that incredible recap of Notre Dame versus USC and our really big recap of the whole, I want to get the slide up there too, over the Michigan and Ohio State. That final score was incredible. I think that was another nail biter for a lot of people. So thank you so much for that. Now, if you are watching us live or listening to our podcast, we just want to say thank you so much. But if you're not listening to our podcast, come and join us. Our podcast is 100 Yards of Football. You can just look up 100 Yards of Football anywhere you listen, either on Spotify, over on Apple TV or Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or anywhere that you love to listen to podcasts. And we will be with you tried and true day after day. Now, over on our YouTube and our Facebook, when you watch our live video, we love joining you as well. We have over 1,000 episodes, and there's a lot of great material that's what we call evergreen, which means you can listen to it anytime. History specials, interviews with great players, so much amazing information. Well, Mr. Vincent Turner, that was a heck of a recap. And I just want to say thank you one more time for the amazing amount of work that you do every single week to bring us these shows. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and we'll be right back with another live episode. Stay tuned.